Plaintiff Christine Chow says she and the defendant met in high school, and they were close friends for several years. However, Christine now feels as if the defendant took advantage of their friendship. Christine claims she loaned the defendant money so her car wouldn't get repossessed, but she has yet to be repaid. Defendant Janella Silva admits that she and Christine were good friends, and she told her a lot of things in confidence. But she feels as if Christine has been treating her like a stranger. Janella insists Christine never set a repayment deadline, and she's countersuing because Christine has been harassing her at work.
Start with you.
Your Honor, Janelle and I have known each other for 10 years. We went to high school together and we used to be really close friends. She was someone I thought I could trust, but she took advantage of my friendship, and I feel like she used me. I feel like in July of 2009, I received a phone call from her.
You're referring to this incident?
Right.
You all never had any other problems with your relationship?
Not that.
All right. You want to tell me about your friendship?
We went to high school together. We actually were really, really close. There was 6 of us girls. Me and Christine were probably both the 2 out of the 6 that were really the closest. We did a lot of things together. I told her a lot of things out of confidence, things that I could talk to her and I could tell her certain things.
You don't want anyone to know?
Oh no, it's just like, you know, the personal things like from my own life that she
You don't
knows
want
about.
people to know?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because if you tell me, I'll keep it a secret. No?
No, it's
All right,
still a secret. Still a secret.
I'll plug my ears.
You plug your ears? All right. I'll tell the whole audience to plug their ears. Go right ahead. What else do you want to tell me about the friendship?
Pretty much that. I mean,
You all never fell out over anything other than this?
no.
All right.
Nothing
You're suing
particular.
$500 for a loan. How so?
Okay, on July of 2009, I received a phone call from Jamie, and she told me that her car was getting repossessed. She needed to borrow some money. I told her I could lend her $600. She promised to pay me back in 2 months. And the 2 months passed. She didn't have the money, and it wasn't until January of this year that she was able to repay $300. Then again in May, her boyfriend.
That's the total amount you've received.
$350.
All right. And wouldn't that be $250 balance?
Right.
I guess the emotional distress is for the other. How does she cause you emotional distress?
Well, I feel like I did a favor for her, and she needed that money, and I didn't need it at that time, so I was like gladly able to let her borrow it.
How does she cause you emotional distress?
Okay, well,
By not paying you?
Right, and it's been such a hassle. Like, I've tried contacting her numerous times. It's just been such a burden trying to get this money back.
Emotional distress is defined by most courts as an extreme and outrageous act that causes severe stress. And this isn't extreme and outrageous not to pay your bill. That's very common. And that's all she's being accused of, is failing to pay a bill. So I can't grant you emotional distress for people not paying bills. Otherwise, bill collectors would stay in court for emotional distress, not just the bill. Ma'am? Tell me about the loan.
Well, in July, like she said, I borrowed money from her, borrowed $600 from her, and due to financial, just financial situations, and we never had a set date on when I would pay her back. In the beginning of this year, I paid her back $350. And a little after that, she asked for her money. I told her I didn't have it just then. And then afterwards, it started to escalate. The situation just started to escalate. She started harassing me at work. She's called, texted me.
When is the last time you made a payment?
In May, I believe it was in May.
Okay. Why haven't you made any more payments?
I moved out of my house. Me and my mom are going through our own situation.
What do you mean your own situation?
About
I don't
the car.
know what that
When
means.
my car got repoed, my mom paid for it.
So you don't pay anybody?
Well, I paid my mom.
Work?
I do work.
You haven't paid her all the money she loaned you. Your car's repossessed, so you haven't paid the car people.
No, I paid
Who else have you
for it.
paid? Why'd they
paid for
repossess it then?
Because I lost my job at that time. I actually
They
got
don't
laid
come
off.
and repossess when you lose your job. They wait until you fail to pay. Because you can borrow money and pay. And so they hope that perhaps you have a boyfriend, a husband, or just someone who will pay it for you. They don't repossess unless you fail to pay.
Well,
Did you pay?
I paid for the
You paid all the
repossession.
money you owed the car finance company.
Yes, I
Yet
don't
they
owe.
repossessed it anyway.
No, I still have it. I got it out of repossession,
Why did they repossess it in the first place?
because I was laid off of.
Oh,
my
and now
job.
you got your job back.
I had to go out and look for a new job.
All right, so you can pay her.
I could, but
Yeah.
after Christine I felt that I didn't owe Christine anything because she put my job on the line.
Okay, and that's your counterclaim for harassment?
Yes, she
What
did
did she do?
harass me. She called consecutively. She kept calling my job. Sometimes she wouldn't even state who she is, but she would be the only person that I know. She called me by Jamie.
Mm-hmm. All right,
My job-
and what happened as a result?
my boss had pulled me off to the side,
Okay.
spoke to me, told me that I cannot receive personal
Okay.
phone calls.
Ma'am, did you call a job?
Your Honor, I called her job a few times. I was never once asked to stop calling. I did not call an outrageous amount of times, and I did try calling her on her
Would it
cell
be
phone.
acceptable to you for someone you owed a few $100s to call your job several times or a few times?
A few
That would be all right
times.
with you?
A few times, yes.
Okay, well, it's not all right with most people, I'm sure, and I really don't think you would be. It would be all right with you. You call a person, as most bill collectors do, at home after you sent delinquent notice to them. So I do believe you were harassing her, calling her job, talking to her boss, who then took her to the side, and it probably cost her some of her reputation at the job because they had to deal with calls from her friend who she owed a balance to. I'll grant you your judgment of $250, which is the balance that she owed you based on your own testimony. And I'll grant you $250 for the harassment that you had to endure. Have a good day. Judgment for both, $250.
I don't have anything to say to her, although I do think this was a really silly situation to kind of bring about, but $250.
If it wasn't that much, she could have paid me. If it was nothing, she could have easily paid me, right?
But then again, we used to be good friends, so.
Used to.